This is one of the things that is being said about you. When you promise and you are said, you come out to say, look, hold me responsible. I'm going to turn around this country. And you've been criticized. There was the interview I had with the former governor of Lagos State. Amongst those who are running for president, who are in the front running, yourself, the NNPP presidential candidate, the APC presidential candidate, you are former governors, two-term governors. Now, and in that sense, Mr. Fashola was saying, making reference that it was only Tinubu that has a record or track record that is being copied by other states. Now, when you said that you were going to turn things around, there are those of your opponents who have criticized you to say, look, Mr. Obi may not have a full understanding of the workings of the federal government, that things are more complicated than he thinks. And you have promised that things will not be as usual. You will change things. How difficult have you learned that things are in the federal government or running the nation or being a Nigeria's president? Are you hoping that there might be some surprises that you get into office to learn?
I don't think there's any surprises. I don't think there's anything that's complicated. You know, I don't think so. That was what they were telling me when I was going to be governor. They said, oh, you've never governed before. You've never been a civil servant. You don't know how civil servants work. Civil servants are the most difficult people to work. Civil servants are thieves, teachers are this and everything. I can tell you, Sharon, I worked for them for 8 years. I do not see all those things they are being accused of and anything. They became partners in progress. It was, for example, let me use education. Sharon, despite the fact that I started in 2006, which was 6 years clear from the time Millennium Development Goals started. By the time it was concluded in 2015, we were #1. And I started late. And that was the only measure of development within the said period that I was in government. Anambra State was #1 in Millennium Development Goals. We were #1 in education. We did a lot of work, good work in health and in pulling people out of poverty. And you can go and ask people like Dr. Magnus Buckle that was in charge of pulling people out of poverty. So I don't see anything when people say this. I don't know where the surprise is going to come from. The only surprise for me is surprise that we're going to do things that people won't believe. It's possible. We're going to surprise people. That's the only surprise. The only surprise is pulling people out of poverty that people think is impossible. Managing our resources more efficiently. The only surprise is that we shut down corruption. The surprises we're going to spring up with, but not surprises of the country worsening. It will be surprise of the country progressing.
We are just about 60 seconds to our next break.